Have you ever wondered about the story behind your name? I always thought mine was pretty straightforward. My parents liked it, it sounded nice, that was it. Or so I thought. The story I'm about to tell you is completely true, and it changed everything I thought I knew about my family, my history, and even myself. It all started a few months ago when my grandma moved into a smaller apartment. We were helping her sort through decades of accumulated belongings, a treasure trove of memories and dust. In the back of a deep, cedar-lined closet, tucked away in an old shoebox, I found a stack of letters tied with a faded blue ribbon. The handwriting was elegant, loopy, and belonged to my great-grandmother, a woman I'd only known through faded, black-and-white photos. My grandma saw what I was holding, and her eyes got a little misty. "Oh, those," she said. "Those are from her sister, Elara." Elara. The name struck me like a bell. It was my name. But wait, that wasn't right. I was named after my grandmother's favorite flower, the lily. That's the story I'd been told my entire life. I asked my grandma, "Who's Elara?" I thought I was named after a flower. She just smiled, a sad, knowing kind of smile, and told me to read the letters. So I did. I sat there on the floor of my grandma's new apartment, surrounded by boxes and bubble wrap, and I traveled back in time. The letters were dated from the early 1940s, during the war. They told a story of two sisters, inseparable, who were torn apart by circumstances I could barely imagine. My great-grandmother had managed to immigrate to America just before things got really bad back home, but her sister, Elara, was left behind. The first few letters were full of hope. They wrote about their dreams of being reunited, of opening a small bakery together, of the lives they would lead. But as the months turned into years, the tone shifted. The letters became less frequent. They were filled with worry, with coded language I could tell was meant to bypass censors, speaking of bad weather and sick neighbors. Then, the letters stopped. The last one was dated 1943. It was short, hurried. Elara wrote that she was going into hiding. She told my great-grandmother not to worry, that she was strong, and that she would see her again on the other side. She ended the letter with, "If you ever have a daughter, tell her about me. Tell her Elara means light, and that she should always shine brightly, no matter how dark it gets." That was the last anyone ever heard from her. My great-grandmother waited her whole life for a sister who never came home. When my mother was born, she wanted to name her Elara, but my great-grandmother couldn't bear it. It was too painful, so they held on to the name, a secret promise, a whisper through generations. When I was born, my parents decided it was time to let the light shine again. But they didn't want to burden me with the sadness of the story. They wanted me to have a clean slate. So they created a simpler, happier story, the story of a flower. And for my whole life, that's what I believed. Finding those letters, learning the truth, it wasn't sad, not really. It was profound. My name wasn't just a name anymore. It was a legacy. It was the story of a brave woman I never met. A woman who faced the darkest of times and whose last wish was for a future generation to shine brightly. It's a promise from my great-grandmother to her lost sister. It's a connection to a past I never knew I had. Now, when someone asks me my name, I smile. I tell them it means light. And I think of my great-aunt Elara, and I try my best to live up to it. What's the story behind your name? Sometimes, the most beautiful stories are the ones that take a little digging to find. Thanks for listening to mine. I'll see you in the next video.